Urgent Philadelphia Eagles fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Philadelphia Eagles updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, Eagles fans, today we've got some interesting news that's definitely going to shake up the offseason chatter. You know how the Eagles always seem to keep us on our toes? Well, this time, it's about their backup quarterback situation, and let me tell you, it's more than just a routine move. Last year, Philadelphia made a gamble that paid off in a big way, and it all revolves around one guy, Kenny Pickett. Now, for those of you who remember, the Eagles traded for Pickett from the Steelers, and honestly, at the time, it looked like a low-risk move that could turn into something much bigger. Who would have thought that this deal would end up being one of the most crucial decisions of the offseason? You see, Philadelphia was looking for stability behind Jalen Hurts, and Pickett, a former first-round pick, seemed like the perfect insurance policy. When you think about it, having a reliable backup quarterback isn't just about avoiding injuries, it's about peace of mind, especially in a league where injuries happen with alarming frequency. The Eagles front office was clearly aware of this, and they went out on a limb to get Pickett, who had shown flashes of promise. His one start last season, in Week 17 against Dallas, was pretty impressive. He completed 10 of 15 passes for 143 yards and a touchdown, leading Philly to a dominant 41-7 victory. That game alone was enough to give fans hope that Pickett could step in if needed, and it was a boost for the entire team's confidence. But, as we all know, NFL rosters are always in flux. Just a few months after that promising performance, the Eagles decided to trade Pickett to the Cleveland Browns. Now, this move surprised many because, up until that point, Pickett had been viewed as a solid backup option, especially after his performance against Dallas and his resilience in the game against Washington, despite a tough loss. It seemed like the Eagles were content with their backup situation. After all, they had Tanner McKee, Kyle McCord, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson waiting in the wings. Still, the move to trade Pickett raised some questions. Were the Eagles looking for an upgrade? Were they feeling confident enough in their young quarterbacks? Or perhaps, they saw an opportunity to improve the position in a different way. And that's where things get interesting. Because now, after trading Pickett, the Eagles are back to searching for that same feeling, a reliable backup that can come in, manage the game, and keep the team afloat if Hurts needs a breather or, worse, gets injured. It's the kind of move that can make or break a season, especially for a team that's aiming for another deep playoff run and maybe even a Super Bowl appearance. So, the question on everyone's mind is, who could Philadelphia target now? Well, there's been a lot of speculation, and one name that keeps popping up is Will Levis, the young quarterback from Tennessee. Now, why Levis? It's all about the potential, folks. The Titans just spent the #1 overall pick on Miami's quarterback, Cam Ward, in this year's draft, which signals that they're looking to develop their future franchise star. Meanwhile, Levis, who was a highly touted prospect coming out of college, has had a somewhat rocky start in the NFL. His initial seasons with Tennessee weren't exactly smooth sailing. He's compiled a 5-16 record as a starter over 2 seasons, and his completion percentage hovers around 61%. He's thrown just under 900 yards and has struggled with turnovers, which is why many analysts initially questioned his readiness for the NFL. But here's the interesting part, despite his struggles, some experts see Levis as a potential upgrade at the backup spot. They point to his arm strength, his ability to make throws on the run, and his football intelligence. They argue that, with more experience and coaching, Levis could develop into a solid backup, maybe even challenge for a starting role down the line. Tony Adame, a well-respected NFL analyst, has gone as far as to say that Levis might be an upgrade over Pickett, despite the rocky start to his career. He notes that Levis, with his physical tools, has the potential to be a better fit in a backup role for a team like Philadelphia, which is known for developing quarterbacks and giving them room to grow. And here's the kicker, Philadelphia has plenty of draft capital to make a trade happen. They could potentially offer a mid-round pick, maybe a fifth-rounder, or even more, depending on how serious they are about bringing Levis into the fold. But, of course, that's all speculation. The reality is, the Eagles have a talented room of young quarterbacks, including Tanner McKee, who showed promise last season, and Kyle McCord, a rookie drafted late in the draft who's eager to prove himself. And this brings us to an important point: the Eagles aren't just looking for a stopgap. They're trying to find someone who can step in when needed, but also push Hurts in practice and be ready to take over if necessary. It's a delicate balance, and Philadelphia has been known for making smart, strategic moves in the draft and free agency. They've been building a team not just around their star quarterback, but around a resilient and adaptable roster. This is why the idea of Levis being an upgrade makes sense on paper, but in reality, it's not so simple. Levis still needs development, and the Eagles' current QB room might be more than capable of handling the backup role with their young guns. It's also worth mentioning that the Titans, who drafted Levis, might be reluctant to trade him. They might want to give their rookie a chance to develop, especially if Tannehill's contract situation is uncertain or if they see Levis as part of their future. But if Philadelphia makes a strong enough offer, perhaps a draft pick package that appeals to Tennessee, it could open the door for Levis to come to the city of brotherly love. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. The Eagles have been one of the most intriguing teams in recent years. Since their Super Bowl run in 2017, they've been consistently competitive, thanks to their innovative coaching staff, led by Nick Sirianni, and their star quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Hurts himself has blossomed into one of the league's premier dual-threat quarterbacks, combining a powerful arm with excellent mobility. Last season, he threw for over 700 yards and 22 touchdowns, while rushing for another 760 yards and 13 touchdowns. His leadership on and off the field has been instrumental in transforming the Eagles from a rebuilding team to a perennial contender. But, as with any team, depth at key positions, especially quarterback, is crucial. We saw what happened last season when Hurts missed some games due to injury. Philadelphia had to rely on their backup, and although Gardner Minshew performed admirably, it was clear that the team's success hinges heavily on Hurts' health and consistency. That's why the backup quarterback position is so vital, and why the Eagles are always on the lookout for someone who can step in seamlessly. Now, the landscape of NFL quarterback talent has been rapidly evolving. We've seen young guns like Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence take giant leaps in their development. But the league is still full of teams that are trying to find that reliable second option, players who can come in, run the offense smoothly, and keep the team competitive. In that context, Levis, or even other young quarterbacks, become attractive trade targets. Philadelphia, with its wealth of draft picks and a stable organizational structure, is often in a position to make these bold moves. But let's not forget, the Eagles' current roster has a lot of promising talent behind Hurts. Tanner McKee, for instance, has shown flashes of being a capable backup, with his size, arm strength, and football IQ. Kyle McCord, a rookie from Ohio State, has a big arm and a lot of potential. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who came over in the Pickett trade, also has mobility and a good understanding of the game. So, while fans might be eager for an upgrade, the Eagles might be comfortable with their current options, trusting in the development of their younger quarterbacks. Still, the NFL is all about opportunity and timing. If the right trade presents itself, say, a team like Tennessee deciding to move Levis for a valuable draft pick, the Eagles could jump in and make a move. It's all about assessing risk versus reward. Philadelphia's front office has always been shrewd, and they're known for making moves that make sense for their long-term success, not just short-term gains. As we look ahead to the upcoming season, the big question remains: will the Eagles look to bring in a veteran or a young talent like Levis to bolster their backup squad? Or will they rely on their current crop of young quarterbacks and develop them into capable backups? It's a fascinating storyline that could unfold at any moment, especially as teams start to shape their rosters during the offseason. The Eagles are in a unique position. They're contenders, but they also need to ensure their depth at quarterback is solid enough to sustain a deep playoff run. And let's be honest, Eagles fans, this isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about maintaining that competitive edge, about ensuring that if anything happens to Hurts, the team can still stay afloat and keep their championship dreams alive. Philadelphia has built a team that's tough, disciplined, and innovative, but the quarterback position always attracts attention because it's the most critical spot on the field. That's why every move, every trade, every draft pick is scrutinized so heavily. In conclusion, the Eagles' decision to trade Pickett last season was a bold move that seemed to pay off initially, giving fans hope and confidence in their backup options. But now, with Pickett gone, the team is back in the market for that dependable backup quarterback, someone who can step in and keep the momentum going. Will they target a young talent like Levis from Tennessee? Or will they stick with their current group of promising quarterbacks and continue to develop them? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Philadelphia is always in the mix, always looking for that edge, and always ready to make a move if it means pushing closer to another Super Bowl. So, Eagles fans, stay tuned because this offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting yet. Keep your eyes on every news drop, every rumor, and every move from the front office because the team's future could be shaped by just one trade or one draft pick. And remember, the Eagles are more than just a team, they're a family, a culture built on resilience and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Whatever happens next, you can bet we'll be here covering every twist and turn, bringing you the latest and most comprehensive updates about our beloved Philadelphia Eagles. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Birds!